students, today we are going to discuss a new topic. It's called operator overloading in C++. So far we discussed that in C++ we have class and objects, and whatever is written inside this class, they are not available to main unless until you define them as public here. So in this particular case, let us take an example in which we have some marks in the private as a private variable. Now in the public section, this is where you usually define the, let's say this is the name of the class is student. Here you define so-called the constructor, you know that, default constructor. So you can, here you can write, let's say marks is equal to, you want to initialize with some marks like 50. So instead you can even directly put a colon and directly write this to initialize. That means here marks 50. So you are going to write the function inside this, let's say whatever you want to call, this is a constructor. Now let's say I am writing a function, let's say I am writing a function which is called operator function. Let's say I am writing another function called void operator plus plus. Then I am writing a function like this. Let's say I am writing a function like this, and this is what I am going to now explain, so-called operator overloading. What does it mean? Usually in any language, like in C language, suppose there is a variable I, you want to increment one time, so you can write plus plus I or I plus plus. Let's say I am now considering the case of incrementing an object instead of a variable like this. How do you implement that in C++? Let's say I have a student called Joby. So Joby has already got marks 50 as soon as you call this or create this object, this marks got initialized to 50. Now suppose I want to say, I want to increment his mark 50 by 10 marks by saying plus plus Joby. I mean increment him, give some increment to him. So what I can do is, I can create a function. Inside this function you can say that marks is equal to marks plus 10, something like that. That means the moment you say, if you print out the value of marks, suppose I have a function in which I can display the marks of, suppose there was a function here, extra function to display the marks, let's say display marks, then I would have this simply called Joby dot display marks. So I could have called that. So that would have simply displayed the value of marks in. The same way you could create another function. If had I written minus minus, plus plus is also there, and suppose another function also you have created after, that is like I want to reduce 10 marks. When I say minus Joby, then I could have said minus 10 here, and I could have used minus operator here. So now practically we can see how this can be demonstrated. So-called operator overloading. Whatever the functions which you are mathematically using with integers and floats and other things, now we are going to use it with objects. So now let's open the C++ compiler and let us create a new program to demonstrate this. Now you can see that actually there is a, let's say as I said already, you have to have this line everywhere, and suppose I am creating a student actually. This much portion you are already aware, that is this cutting and pasting and creating into the new file. So finally this is your final file, something like this. Let's say you have a constructor now. I initialize the marks with 50 directly. After that, now what I am doing is actually I am also creating a main function. You can see that I am also keeping that ready for the future, so that I can go on writing the program here. Now I am going to create the overloading function. That means whenever whenever somebody says ++Joby, here, like here, let's say I have created an object of this student Joby. Now if I say ++Joby, I should give increment of 10 marks extra to this person, this object. So what I can do is, you have to create an operator function which looks like this. So below this you have to write in the public section. That means you will say void operator ++ marks is equal to +10. Okay. Same way, if you want to use, let's say you want to use -Joby also. You want to reduce the marks also, let us say. So what you can do is, you can simply copy this and you can write here minus. When minus happens, marks is reduced by 10 marks. Now you can also create a function for displaying the marks, because see, you can see the marks cannot be displayed in the main because it is private. So it can be displayed through a function only, or method. So I can say marks is equal to this one. Now I have to close this. The student class. Now I can always say that here, after incrementing, Joby dot display. I can always say that, right? So then after ++ also we will try to see. After minus also we will try to see. That means you are trying to increment student Joby. After the incrementing, it comes here, increments. So that means the mathematical functions like ++, it can be used with objects also. That is, let's try to execute this. Now give a file name to this. It says there is already a file like that, so I will store into okay, 9 is also there. Let me give 10. Okay, now see that after incrementing 60 and 50, here it incremented by 10, here it decremented by 10. Thank you.